recession for the first time in IndyCar history.
Can Cadillac, an American luxury icon, really challenge Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull at the pinnacle of Formula One? This story unfolds through endurance racing glory, fiery political battles, and a dramatic 2026 debut that has stunned the motorsport world. Stay tuned as we uncover Cadillac's bold comeback, its star drivers, and the ultimate question: can they rewrite F1 history? Cadillac's racing story begins in 1950, when Briggs Cunningham rolled into Le Mans with a pair of American 5.8s that roared against Europe's finest. The radical Le Monstre became a cult legend, while a Cadillac-powered Allard slipped onto the podium. For the first time, Europe was forced to take Detroit power seriously. Decades later, Cadillac returned with a factory prototype in the early 2000s. The North Star program carried ambition, sleek designs, and corporate muscle, yet it struggled to match Audi's dominance. Reliability sagged, results lagged, and the effort closed in 2002. Herb Fischel admitted the team underestimated the scale of Le Mans, a rare glimpse into how even giants can misread the battleground. That lesson paid off when Cadillac turned inward to IMSA. The DPI VR became a juggernaut, sweeping Daytona 4 years straight, collecting 27 wins and making household names of its teams. Fernando Alonso even climbed aboard to taste victory at Daytona in 2019. The crowning moment came in 2023. The Cadillac V-Series.R roared onto the Le Mans podium, sealing American pride in the centenary race. That podium planted a question in every paddock: where could Cadillac possibly go next? The answer emerged from the vision of a man whose family name is racing royalty. Michael Andretti had been chasing the Formula One dream for years. In 2021, he came within hours of buying into Sauber, only to see the deal collapse over control. It was a bitter setback, but it sparked a bigger idea. If he could not buy his way in, he would build a new team from the ground up. To make that dream credible, he needed a heavyweight partner. On January 5th, 2023, Andretti stunned the motorsport world by linking arms with General Motors. Cadillac would become the banner, turning Andretti's ambition into a manufacturer-backed bid. It was a statement of intent. American know-how joining forces with Detroit's most glamorous marque to take on F1. The blueprint was ambitious. A sprawling headquarters in Indiana, a cutting-edge GM tech center in Charlotte, and a foothold in Silverstone to tap into F1's beating heart. At its core sat a bold engine plan. Renault power at the start, then a Cadillac-built hybrid unit by 2028. That roadmap alone would have been enough to spark conversation. But the real storm gathered around who controlled the gates to Formula One. The FIA had given Andretti Cadillac a green light after a detailed review. Yet approval from the governing body did not guarantee a grid slot. The other half of the puzzle sat with Liberty Media and the existing 10 teams. And this is where resistance flared. Team bosses argued that Cadillac's $200 million entry fee, locked into the Concord Agreement, no longer reflected the soaring value of F1 franchises. Williams's James Vowles and others floated numbers closer to $600 million, pointing to Audi's costly purchase of Sauber as a benchmark. From their perspective, Andretti Cadillac was gaining entry at a discount compared to recent valuations. Beyond money, there was status. An 11th team would mean smaller slices of prize funds, less exposure time, and a reshuffling of sponsorship opportunities. Toto Wolff spoke for many when he warned that a new team must bring significant value to justify a place on the grid. Michael Andretti pushed back hard. He claimed no team was willing to sell despite telling him to buy in, and he accused rivals of fearing lost sponsorship in the American market. His words landed sharply. It's all about greed. The remark echoed through paddocks and boardrooms, fueling headlines and deepening the standoff. Caught in the middle, FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem voiced surprise at the backlash, insisting that Andretti Cadillac had met every requirement. The split revealed a deeper power struggle, and each statement raised the stakes further. What began as a debate over entry fees suddenly took on the weight of national politics, and the Andretti name was no longer fighting alone. Mario Andretti stepped into the spotlight, his presence in Washington turning a motorsport story into front-page news. He met lawmakers, posed in the Capitol, and rallied bipartisan support around the idea that America's premier automaker was being shut out of its own growing market. The symbolism was impossible to miss. Within weeks, 12 members of Congress drafted a letter to Liberty Media's Greg Maffei. They accused F1's leadership of unfairly blocking Cadillac and warned that antitrust laws were in play. Representative John James drove the point home. If you want access to our markets and fans, you must grant access to our companies. Federal regulators soon added weight to the pressure. The Department of Justice confirmed it was examining whether Liberty and the teams were conspiring to exclude Andretti Cadillac. For a sport used to private negotiations, the scrutiny of US law was a dramatic escalation. Behind the scenes, General Motors tightened its grip on the project. The Andretti name remained, but the branding shifted to Cadillac Formula One team, backed by new investors and $1 billion commitment. By late 2024, Liberty Media softened its stance, announcing an agreement in principle for Cadillac's entry. An American team had forced F1 to bend, not with lap times but with political muscle. The stage was now set for the next twist. With Cadillac's entry finally confirmed, attention shifted from politics and boardrooms to the nuts and bolts of building a racing team ready for 2026. The rebrand to Cadillac Formula One team gave the project a sharper identity, and with Graham Loudon named as team principal, the operation gained someone who had already lived the struggle of starting a team from scratch. Loudon's experience with Marussia wasn't about trophies, but it was about survival in F1's cutthroat environment, a skill Cadillac will need in its first years. The team's tri-base structure offered a unique blueprint. Silverstone became the brain, Indiana the muscle, and Charlotte the lab. By early 2025, engineers were already flowing into the new UK facility, while the Fishers headquarters buzzed with construction on car-building workshops. It was a marriage of American resources and European racing expertise, something no team had attempted at this scale. Perhaps the most fascinating twist was the engine plan. Ferrari's power units would propel Cadillac in 2026 and 2027, a proven stopgap that gave credibility while GM ramped up its own F1 power unit program for 2028. Insiders whispered that GM had quietly recruited talent from Renault's shuttered engine division, accelerating their timeline. Suddenly, what once looked like a dream carried the weight of real infrastructure, real people, and real horsepower. The final missing piece was who would actually drive Cadillac's machines onto the grid. For months, speculation swirled around whether the team would field an American star like Colton Herta. His IndyCar wins and flair made him a fan favorite, but the FIA's strict super license rules kept him out of reach for 2026. That left Cadillac with a choice: gamble on rookies or lock in proven winners. By mid-2025, the answer was clear. Cadillac unveiled Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez as its first lineup, two seasoned race winners with more than 500 Grand Prix starts between them. Both were available at the right moment, and both brought credibility no rookie could match. Bottas had been the steady hand at Mercedes during its championship years, his feedback shaping some of the fastest cars in F1 history. Perez carried victories across multiple teams and a passionate fan base stretching from Mexico to the United States. Together, they gave Cadillac an instant shot of legitimacy and leadership. For a debuting team, few lineups could match this balance of speed, experience, and global appeal. And as soon as Bottas and Perez were unveiled, the reactions began rolling in from every corner of the F1 world. Team bosses who once pushed back against Andretti's plans now praised Cadillac for bringing a heavyweight OEM onto the grid. Ferrari's leadership spoke of a battle of giants, while Zak Brown called it a marketing boost for everyone. Even Toto Wolff, once Cadillac's fiercest critic, congratulated GM on joining the club. Drivers were equally welcoming. Hamilton and Verstappen highlighted the value of extra seats and new opportunities, while Ocon and Hülkenberg noted the momentum Cadillac could bring for younger hopefuls. Fans, especially in the US and Mexico, turned Cadillac's confirmation into a celebration. Pride, relief, and a sense of validation poured across social media. But as the celebrations echoed, the hard reality began to settle in. Cadillac now had to prove it belonged in Formula One, a battlefield where even giants have stumbled. Every new team dreams of breaking through, yet history shows how merciless F1 can be. The ghost of 2010's failed entrance lingers, reminding fans that enthusiasm alone doesn't keep a team alive. Cadillac's budget and backing look strong, but the pressure to avoid the same fate is immense. The midfield fight adds another layer. Haas may look like the obvious benchmark, but even established outfits like Williams and Sauber have struggled to climb. Cadillac will need sharp execution to keep from being swallowed whole in the chaos of the middle pack. Then comes 2026's regulation reset. On paper, it's a golden opening. In practice, integrating Ferrari's brand new hybrid into a rookie chassis program is a daunting puzzle. One misstep and the gap to the front could grow instantly. And hovering above it all is expectation. Political, public, and cultural. This team wasn't just admitted, it was fought for. That weight makes every lap in 2026 feel like a test of American motorsport pride. Yet the ripple effects extend far beyond the stopwatch. For the first time in decades, Formula One can point to a true American manufacturer team. Cadillac's arrival places Detroit engineering on the same stage as Maranello and Brackley. And with Ford also entering via Red Bull powertrains, the old Detroit rivalry is reborn in F1 form, Ford versus GM, now measured in hybrid horsepower. This shift carries serious business implications. American sponsors see Cadillac as a natural home, from tech giants to legacy brands. Rumors of FedEx and Apple circling the project hint at how quickly Cadillac could reshape F1's sponsorship map. Every new backer pulled in through Cadillac forces rivals to chase US dollars more aggressively. Then there's the cultural impact. American fans who once felt sidelined now have a team to claim. Add Sergio Perez to the mix, and Cadillac becomes the team of the Americas, tying Mexico and Latin America into a shared storyline. That sort of regional identity has been missing in modern F1, and it could elevate fan engagement in unprecedented ways. Cadillac's leap into Formula One is the ultimate American comeback. From Le Mans glory to political battles to finally securing a place on the grid. But can this bold bet deliver podiums, or will history repeat itself for newcomers? We'll find out when the lights go out in 2026. Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more epic F1 stories.